Alright folks, it's the Lazy Gardener here with a demonstration that I will not lie is entirely too much work. But my father swore to me that he used to plant, and this will probably most of you who know plants are going to say this is the worst possible companion gardening you could ever do. But underneath that plastic, which is clear on purpose, are potatoes. And what is supposed to happen is the potatoes will pop up and then spread out lengthwise on the ground underneath there. And your potatoes will grow underground, so then when you're finally done with your tomatoes, which are growing up top through little holes, you pull up your plastic and there's supposed to be an abundance of potatoes down there. I don't believe it either, but I'm going to test the theory out. Now obviously you might see that we kind of put a pile of dirt around the plastic to kind of give it a bowl so that when it rains the water runs into the tomatoes. There's about 3 pounds of tomato seeds in there. Question's going to come up, doesn't that mean I'm going to step on it when I go to pick the tomatoes? And well, Pops never addressed that one, and I'm going to have to say looks that way. As you can see over here, we have our root feeders again. We're going to put an actual float valve in that so I don't overfill them. They'll come over, I showed you earlier today, we put rocks in the bottom of the straw bales. We've got 4 tomatoes in them, but the pump is not hooked up yet because I use an inexpensive boat float valve for a bilge pump so that it shuts the water off when it's too low and I don't burn up pumps, because that's my biggest problem. You can see we have the pet water oyas up. We painted them green so they don't get algae in them, and the plants are doing fine. Come over here to, again, the one thing that's going to do more work than I ever wanted to do, but I have to get the question answered. If you ever want to know the cheap way to get a nice 8-foot steak, rip a 2x4.5. These tomatoes here with the stakes will be tied to the stakes, and I'm going to try. I've never done it before, so I will say try. Don't know how successful I will be. But I'm going to prune out the suckers and everything and just tie the main vine up here to see once and for all, is it better to prune your tomatoes and just keep the vine, or over here will be the comparison. These are just going to be left alone to grow. Same tomatoes both sides, planted the same exact way. Over here at the rain gutter, we have the first 3 are full of compost. One has the plain old blue jeans, which we know rot within a couple months. Don't make it through the season. We have polyester in the second one, which we think is going to make it because it's synthetic. And then we have nylon, which is supposed to be, which most people say is the best wicking material. We'll find out. And then here we have grow bags with the proprietary wicking system underneath it nobody sees. This one has compost. This one has peat-based organic soil. And this one here has, I believe it's Schultz's. Let's see, it's potting soil with fertilizer. I believe it's Schultz's. Let's look here real quick. And no, it's Scott's. I went with Scott's. Try something different. I've cheated every year with a really expensive water control Miracle-Gro. Let's see with another name brand that doesn't have the water absorbers in it will do. So that's where we are right now. It's been a hard day. I'm going to go home and rest. Anything else I failed to mention in this experiment that we're doing here? I chose perhaps what is the absolute worst possible candidate for container gardening, with that being the Burpee Super Sauces. Those would be the indeterminate Roma tomatoes that get to the size of a quart jar. My theory is if they grow and they produce, it's a win, and then obviously any container-based tomato you want to use would fare better off. And with that, until next time.